So you've been thinking about getting into some prints. Unless, of course, you just clicked on this video. In that case, welcome. But like I said, today I want to talk about prints, and I want to talk about the importance of making test prints in that process. And the reason I want to do that is because today, about 15 minutes ago, I went and picked up a bunch of my first test prints. So all in all, I got 2 of my photos printed on 3 different types of paper. So 6 prints in total, 3 different variations of 2 different photos. I'm sure that was the least effective way to explain that. But actually how this situation came to be was last week I was out on a photo walk. As I was walking around in this place that I've walked around a few times, I noticed one of the signs that said open, which had been closed for some time, and I actually finally read the sign. And it turns out this place, like 10 blocks away from me, is a fine art printing shop. So I guess the lesson is to pay attention to your surroundings. But when I finally figured out what this place was, I decided, what the heck, I'm gonna check it out. I walked in and was greeted by Rob, who is just an awesome all-around dude, and we got to talking, and I told him that I was a photographer and shared some of my pictures with him. And of course the conversation progressed that we started talking about prints, and that I have recently launched a section on my site where I'm selling prints, fine art prints. And I told him that I had no idea what I was doing, and any advice or direction he could give me would be greatly appreciated. And the first bit of advice that he gave me was to make some test prints, which that's what we're talking about today. Now, I know for some people, test prints might sound a bit redundant or might even seem unnecessary, seeing as this is a step that you're going to be putting a bunch of money into that isn't even the final result. It definitely influences the final result, but it's not the final result. But the one thing he did that I've had offered to me so many times throughout my conversations is a discount. And yeah, that probably is just a sales tactic to get me to spend money and to come back and spend more money. But all in all, I ended up saving money on these test prints. And I've found that even just by talking to people and asking, you can generally get discounts on stuff like this. So besides the takeaway from today being pay attention to your surroundings and know what kind of businesses are around you, is to talk to people and to not be afraid to ask. Because long-term business-wise, I've already started to cultivate a relationship with this guy, and I am more likely to go back to him to get additional prints now than the big giant corporation out there that has no contact or investment in how well I do, if I do well at all. So what I want to do today is go through these test prints that I've just gotten back with you. I haven't even looked at them yet, and I want to just share some thoughts about these prints specifically, maybe the paper, maybe the ink, and just kind of talk about where I'm thinking I'm heading in the future. Okay, so first prints first. And you know what? I'm actually gonna let it bow a little bit because that highlights a good point of this first print, that it is glossy. So this first test print, these are all 8x10s. And this first one is on luster paper. And I feel like this is the most generic. It's considered a premium paper, but this is kind of the most generic one that I've come across, is the luster paper. At most big places you go to print your pictures, I think this is the most common one. But it's very nice quality. I am actually a really big fan of it, though I'm not a fan of like this shine. Overall, I think I just find it a little too distracting to the work overall. But seeing as this cost me $2.56 to print at an 8x10, very, very happy with this. This next print is the same. It's the luster premium paper. I think these were all printed with an Epson printer. I'm not exactly sure on all of the details with that, but comparing them, I mean, I guess it's the same paper, but the other print is relatively dark and this one is relatively light, so you can see the way that the light individually handles each. Which is a point that I do want to make as we move on to the next one. The best part about making these test prints is being able to physically see and hold each of these. YouTube compression and lens and video quality, it's never going to be the same as physically holding these in your hand and seeing how your photo interacts on individual papers and individual inks. This next one is enhanced matte paper. So, as you can see right up front, there's definitely less of a sheen on it. Obviously, by its name, it is a matte paper. And if we had to A/B these from the luster to the matte, honestly, I think the matte might be a little bit sharper on the detail. Overall, it feels better. And I think it just really overall is a better paper and ink partnership. And these prints really just turned out nice. I like these ones. So each of these with the enhanced matte paper ended up coming in at $5.12 each. So it seems like each quality in paper is going up about $3. So at the end of the day, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to just look at the difference and say, is it worth it to increase the price this much for me on the front end before even talking about making money? But personally, for this, the upgrade from that gloss to this matte is definitely worth the price increase. So this final, ooh, whoa. I gotta turn it around. Wow. Okay, let me just say this. Already just the quality of this paper and the print, even this matte does kind of have a gloss to it. Whereas this paper, holy cow. I love this. So this paper is Sunset Hot Press Ultra Smooth. And honestly, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the big major differences, if any differences between these papers besides what I'm seeing and feeling right now. But I'll tell you, just the overall feeling of this paper and the look of that print, holy cow, I love it. I think this is the highest quality paper you can go before passing into like the rag territory, but holy cow, I love this. So as a test print, these final ones, the Sunset Hot Press Ultra Smooth Paper prints came in at $8 a piece for the test prints. And I'm in love with this one. But do please just remember, with the prices on these that I just said, those were discounted because these are test prints as well. They're the prices for the 8x10s. So going smaller would change the price, as well as bigger prints would change the price. And then when you're actually making prints, you're going to be paying full price. And then you're going to want to buy some glass on top of that and a frame. So $8 really is such a low price compared to what the final image is going to cost. But at $8 a piece for these, I'll tell you, I'm probably leaning towards this if I don't get some test prints made on some rag papers. So I hope this video was somewhat useful to any of you out there. It's been an interesting and helpful situation just for me, so I thought I would share it with you. Please let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about these prints or the papers specifically. I make sure to respond to all the comments, even if they're negative, so throw your hate down there as well. But I do genuinely want to thank you guys for investing the time in watching this video and following me on this film journey. So until next time, I'll see you later.